Hi, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Regina.
And today we want to do a little highlight video of one of the places that we stayed recently in Alabama called Frank's Point of View. And the nearest town is Ashland, so it's a pretty remote location, but it is beautifully situated on top of, Alabama Mountain or Hill if you're from someplace like Colorado or the Rocky Mountains or something like that. But a large hill overlooking the Talladega National Forest. It is a gorgeous campground, very quiet. There's only 8 spots there with full hookups. There's not a laundry facility or a bathhouse currently as of the time of this recording, but I believe there are plans to at least add a laundry facility at some point. The owners live right on the property, and they are Gary and Trisha,
yes,
I believe.
You got it.
Yep. And they were really wonderful people, great hosts. They had a dog that they had kind of adopted a couple years ago, I think, that showed up on their property as a puppy. And the dog's name was Nellie, and Nellie loved to go on walks with the family when we would go walking through the woods and different stuff like that. Up at the top of the hill, it's pretty, there's not really much light pollution at all, so at night you can see the stars really well, and it gets nice and cool in the summertime. We were there in summertime, and it was beautiful in the evening. We had a campfire one evening, even though it had been hot during the day, and it was really, really nice. And there's also just some really beautiful views of the hills and the forest, and quiet and relaxing place. They have cornhole you can play. There's horseshoes, and then there's a little, the welcome center, the office, I guess, has a few necessities in their camp store, and then a billiard table. So the kids and I and Regina went out and played pool with the kids several nights. In fact, as we mentioned in a previous video, we were the only ones staying there during the time that we were there, and it was pretty awesome, very refreshing and recharging to just have the place to ourselves. And
trails. Just about every day we were there, we did hike a trail through the forest. The really neat thing about the trails that you have access to straight from the campground without having to leave is that they're only for people who are staying at Frank's Point of View. When you pull onto the property, there is 2 poles that kind of separate, saying that you are on this particular property. And once you go up that mountain, there's a few residential homes and the campground. And the trails are only able to be accessed by the people that are staying on that campground. So that's actually a really cool plus. The camp host and the owner, they are the ones that actually carved out these trails themselves. So they're all coordinated by color: an orange trail, a blue trail, a yellow trail, and there's some really cool Indian remains. Not remains. That's not the right word. Indian artifacts, I guess. Is that the right word?
Evidence that the Indians were there.
Evidence that the Indians were there. That's walls, much better put.
Walls and portions of chimneys and different things like that.
Yes, and a great overlook at the top of one of them. So that was really neat. And we were the only ones. The only bad thing about being the only ones is that you get to clear all the spider webs yourself when you go through. But Nellie, their dog, loved, like Jeff said, loved to go on hikes with us, and she was very keen on if there were any snakes or anything that could possibly harm us. She's a great dog to take with you. And this guy right here, not being much of a dog man, he liked Nellie. Nellie hung out with us on our picnic table. She came in our RV a couple times. She's a great dog. So we really enjoyed her. And Frank's Point of View is a place that our family will be going back to.
Not Nellie. Nellie was also not very useful in clearing out the spider webs above the kneecaps. So.
Right.
Yeah, we probably looked really silly. That would have been good to catch on tape, is walking around with our arm up in the air to try to get the spider webs before our face did, or with sticks, kind of walking around, swirling the stick around. But yes. No, it was awesome. Really.
One thing you forgot to mention.
What did I forget? At
each campsite is a beautiful covered area with a picnic table, hooks for your hammock, hummingbird feeder and bird feeder.
And lots of hummingbirds, lots of birds.
Lots of hummingbirds. And so it was just, it was so well thought out of what could be done to make sure that those people there, the guests, were able to enjoy the slice of heaven that Frank and Trisha have up on this hill. A
final tip, don't slow down when you're driving up the hill to get to the the RV area because it's fairly steep. I was a little nervous. We made it no problem. He said there hasn't been any problem really, but you don't want to stop on the way up, or you might have to go back down and try again.
Yes, yes, and they do supply firewood, your first bundle of firewood, and then they sell it for any that you want thereafter. And there is a laundromat in the tiny little town of Ashland. That's about 6 miles, I think, and what takes you like 15 minutes to drive into town.
And a Piggly Wiggly for your grocery needs.
That's right.
So overall, we loved it. It was amazing and refreshing and recharging to be there, and we would highly recommend it. So hopefully you get a chance to get to the Ashland, Alabama area and visit Frank's Point of View.
Yes.
All right.
And if you go to Birmingham, which is about an hour and 20 minutes out, he actually has the shirt on right now. Troops Pizza is outside of Birmingham. So if you venture into Birmingham while you're there, Troops Pizza, fantastic pizza. The barbecue pizza was out of this world. So highly recommend them as well.
All right. See you on the next video.